Hello, my freaky darlings. Before I get into my update, let me apologize, fresh off scratch. If you're hearing variations in the audio, I bought a new microphone. The microphone is somewhat behaving, but it's extremely picky. Because it's picky, I have to tweak and do a bunch of crap to get it to do what I want it to do. But I bought a lot of hardware. I didn't want to spend the money. It was a lot of money. But I'm still not done spending. Of the $3,000 I budgeted, I think I chewed away probably about 300 of it. But the hardware is going to get me a couple of things. First, it's a different microphone that I like the audio quality a little bit better, but I had to make it work, and it takes some tweaking. So bear with it. Second, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, but it's important to understand why I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you for 3 reasons. Number 1, most importantly, it's so I can directly tell you thank you. I'm telling you thank you because Leicester Live hit just now. Didn't know this. It was not part of an update, but I just noticed it. We hit a threshold. Now, the threshold's kind of weird because sometimes, people come and go. Sometimes people unsubscribe. I'm going to just ride it right now, and the wheels will fall off or they won't. But for now, today, this moment, we crossed the threshold of 700 subscribers. This keeps us still on track, ladies and gentlemen, with our pattern of about 100 subscribers every month-ish. And I'm humble, I'm proud, and I'm thankful that the coverage was valuable enough to entice people to the show without any excessive shill. I take pride in that. I really do. And I appreciate each and every one of you. That rhymes. Meanwhile, everything that we're doing in Crypto Talk Radio, found at cryptotalkradio.net, is designed to not only inform, not only educate, but also try to entertain a little bit as we shoot down the naysayers, as we get rid of the doot-doots, as we work to try to give a better approach to how crypto's done. It occurred to me, I wasn't done. I wasn't finished. I had more to do. So, before I get into my major announcement, let me go ahead with my minor announcement, and let's go ahead and take a look, for those curious, at the chaos called Saitama, or as I call them, SAIDRAMA. First of all, Saitama's graph, if you haven't looked at it, looks like crap, and just so you understand why it looks like crap, it looks like crap because of the way they're doing the migration and the way they're doing the airdrops. And I don't think people read their document to understand why it's such crap. I wanted to take this opportunity because I am so happy and proud. I figured I'll use that energy in a positive way to share what's happening. What you may not have noticed, and I pulled up the relevant slide here, SAIDRAMA has a couple of phases to their airdrops. The first stage they did is they did an airdrop to the whales. People didn't know that, but they did an airdrop to the whales first. This is their first phase. Once the whales are done, then they're going to do a second airdrop to everybody, all the other plebeians, all the other poor people, all the other people that had like garbage amounts that they don't care about. They did the whales first. Why am I calling this to attention? A lot of chatter on social media was around this idea that they only had 16,000 holders and 13,000 holders and 15,000 holders. My understanding from certain data points is that the migration is actually being done in chunks of about 500 per. And so it's being done over time, and there will be a point where the population will get to what they expect it to be. Theories are that there are not really 300 some odd thousand holders, that the vast majority of those are likely dust wallets. For those that don't know the dust wallet is the idea that as reflections are distributed and somebody sells, depending on the timing, it may still be sending you that next reflection and it never cleans it out. And then you don't sell it Well, that's tracked as a holder, even though it's not really a holder because they're not holding valid amounts of tokens. So that's likely the reason they did the two-step. And it's probably even three-step is my guess, because I'm assuming they're going to exclude, just for practicality's sake, anybody who is holding the dust amounts. I don't know how they determine dust amounts. Don't have an answer. Point is, the first pass that they were doing was all the whales. And from what I can tell, there's a lot of whales in there, and many of them dumps off SAIDRAMA or SAIDRAMA. This leaves everybody else, the plebeians. Now, here's what's important. If you remember what the cult leader told you, he said the value of what you had will remain the same. Because they did it in phases and because they did it in chunks, this statement is and must be factually inaccurate. They can't assure you the same value because they're only giving you a one-to-one correlation with the updated number of tokens. Well, the value of your tokens will have already dropped because of the whales they dropped first who dumped off the project. So I'm simply calling to attention, and you are free to verify everything I'm saying is the truth, but you can look at the graph yourself. The statement that your value is going to be the same cannot be the truth when they could not drop your tokens at the same time prior to the dumps, and they had turned on trading. It was the turning on of trading that caused the problem. If you go back, I did a V2 introduction episode. I talked about the V2. I talked about what I was seeing. And I said, this is probably going to be an issue because they're not going to use something like Evermigrate. Evermigrate would have solved the problem because your person can claim their tokens anytime they choose. We don't have to worry about the airdrop in chunks. Then you would only turn on trading once a certain number of people have claimed their tokens. Since they didn't do that, I'm just putting it out. You will not get the same value because although you'll get the equivalent relevant number of tokens after it changes, when your airdrop comes in, the value will have been lower because of so much dumping. This is just going to piss people off. Of course, I call him the cult leader for a reason. There are certain people there that are cult diehards and they'll believe no matter what. That's cool. I support their right to follow the cult. For everybody else, though, once the airdrop comes in, we assume it should come in within the next couple days. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe they screw that up. I don't know. All I'm saying is hopefully people come back and give my credit for calling out that the V2 was likely going to be a problem because they were not using tools like Evermigrate. So that's SAIDRAMA. For those that didn't know, as far as I can tell, it's still going because if you look at the numbers are still going up. It's now at 17,000 holders and climbing. So it is still going. There is activity of increased numbers of people getting dropped their tokens, but it's a very, very slow process because of the way they did it. I don't have any answers beyond that. I'm going straight off their own site and what they said in their migration stages. Any questions, of course, you'd have to direct to the SAIDRAMA official account. Sure, they're already getting beat up, so I don't know what good it would do, but that's that. Now, are you interested in the fun stuff? This was whatever garbage. Are you interested in the fun stuff? What you came here for? The thumbnail that I got there? Do you want to see something cool? And first of all, I'm going to show you this, and then my response is probably going to shock you and make you feel like, what? Trust me. Follow me along. And if you've ever seen the movie 5 Heartbeats, you'll understand. If you haven't, you won't get it. But hopefully you've seen the movie and you understand what I say. Dang. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are witnessing on the screen is a certification that Leicester has obtained, a certified cryptocurrency auditor. You're wondering, this came out of left field, came out of nowhere. Yes, it did. But there was a reason. There was actually two reasons, two big reasons that I chose to go ahead and get this taken out of, and this actually isn't the only one. There's two of them. There's one that's specifically for blockchain development, and then this one for the audit, and I wanted both of them. The reason I went after this one, and I prioritized this one, if you followed my channel for a while, you know that what I do is essentially a soft audit of token projects. I do a review, I look for fundamentals, I look for the high levels, and then I provide my analysis and my thoughts. It occurred to me we still have a lot of the dudes who don't understand when I cover these things and it's based on what I see. They still question what I'm telling them is the truth. So I figured, why don't I just put a little bit more framework around this? Why don't I just firm this up a little bit? Why don't I just take that smoke myself, practice what I preach, Barry White, 89, and I will formalize this. I will literally certify as a cryptocurrency auditor in support of the coverage that I'm going to be doing. This then is also going to support the smoke reports, which I've not done because I do swags. For our tribe members, I'm going to be publishing the smoke reports, but I'm actually going to revisit each and every one of them, and I'm going to publish it in the form of a soft audit. So it'll still be a smoke report, but have a little bit more detail around it. Now that I got the backing of the certification to support it, this certification is directly to me, the individual, but it's in support of the Crypto Talk Radio brand. What this also means is that one of the services that we are going to offer in the future, and I don't know if we'll have any takers, but one of the services we're going to offer in the future as part of our partnerships, we are going to at some point, probably Q4, start doing outreaches. We will offer to cryptocurrencies to do a soft audit. This is an initial audit. This is a presentation audit. This is a feasibility audit. This is the obvious stuff audit. This is not really code. We can look at code, but we're more concerned about the other things that can kill a project straight off scratch. Like you suck at social media, you suck at communication, your strategy's jacked up, you go in the wrong direction, you're pissing off your community, your website looks like a kid built it, or you got the AOL, find out about it, crap. This is surface level audit of here's what we see from a presentation perspective. Do we see that your crypto project is ready for the big leagues? And we will provide this as a paid service for them if they're interested to have just that first pass before they present to the public. Hey, we're willing to come in and do a soft audit. If you'd like us to go deeper into the code, we can. However, we're not going to certify our results more than something like Desert Finance on the Binance chain or Certic, for example. We're going to defer to the experts in that regard. But for the things that they don't do that well or don't do at all, presentation, social media, sentiment, the voice of the community, your presence online, your web, does it suck? How you communicate to the investor pool, how you do your AMAs, these things that increase investor sentiment, we can offer where we think they frankly suck, right? And then present our findings, and what they choose to do about it or not do about it, solely up to them. But now they can have a stamp of approval that says somebody at least looked at this stuff that also can speak the language of the investor community. That's the goal behind this long term, is to then make that a service sometime in Q4. So we're out of ways. My next goal is to get the blockchain developer one. That one's a bit trickier because the organization that offers it, their testing tool sucks compared to these guys. Now, I said at the beginning, I was going to say some things that were probably going to be confusing to you, and that's where I get to this. I would not recommend anybody go through this crap. And I know that seems weird, but trust me on this. When I say anybody, that's probably not fair. If you're outside of the United States, it's probably a good cert to do, just to have it. The problem I have with it is that the test for it has nothing to do with auditing cryptocurrency at all. It has more to do with the fundamentals of cryptocurrency, the understanding of tax liability, the understanding of risk at a high level, but there's more to audit. I've been an auditor before, if you didn't know. I was an auditor in the financial services space, 2006 to 2008, full span years. So I know what audit really means. This test is nothing to do, jack all, nothing to do with audit. It's more about fundamentals of cryptocurrency and risk as associates to financial at a high level. It doesn't get down the weeds of audit at all, but the curriculum they offer does talk about the things that you need to know. And it talks about, the dark web and the deep web, and talks about how people are trading illicit, how people are possibly ducking tax burden, how people are doing financial scams. The material is actually decent. It's not great, it's decent. I'm saying that the test is crap. So if anybody wanted to be an auditor, I probably wouldn't recommend them necessarily, and rather would recommend the developer cert or the blockchain expert certs, and then tie in audit, like general audit experience from the standard audit training with financial, and then tie it to the blockchain, and you'll get the same thing. All we need to do in audits is, are we auditing for financial reasons? Are we auditing for business reasons? Or are we auditing specifically for code? That's all we need to know. If you're auditing for code, you can just understand blockchain as an expert, and anybody can do that. If you're auditing financial, there's a different firm. This won't do it for you. If you're auditing for business, this won't do it for you. These are things that I picked up from when I used to be an auditor. So I'm taking my experience, wrapping it into this, and I'm going to turn that into a service at some point in the future. And it's going to be supported with the first token, which I'm scheduled to work on and launch sometime in June. And I actually found that what I thought might be tricky might not be tricky. I'm working on partnerships with an organization that I've covered before who has a very cool tool, and I want to see if we can partner with that organization. If I can partner with them, day one, once we get it live, that faucet's going to be ready to go. Hercules, Hercules. I am pushing it forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I still will do what I'm doing, which is cover cryptocurrency projects and do the shows that I've been doing, but I've accepted it. I can't raise the bar. I got to be the bar, and I got to do what everybody else isn't doing and push the brand forward. You might have noticed some of the other YouTubers, they're now doing Twitch, where we were doing Twitch streams before they were, because we had that, and we are live on BitChute now. So we now have BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey, Vimeo, and YouTube. All of our coverage, all of our content, 5 different platforms. So if YouTube wants to get their panties in a bunch, we don't care, because you can always catch Crypto Talk Radio on multiple sites with redundancy and backups. I'm telling you, I'm killing it, ladies and gentlemen. And that's because I appreciate each and every one of you, because without you, I would not have the inspiration to keep pushing and changing the game. And I'm going to keep on doing it because I like doing it. And my mission is to get away from having to answer to anybody else. I'll just answer to the community and go from there. That's all for my updates. SAIDRAMA is the drama we expect it to be. It's not any different. It's going to keep on being what it is. My hardware is in place, and I'm going to be tweaking it over time, but I'm decent satisfied with it. And then, of course, we got work. Now that we got this, we got work to do. I am open. If anybody has any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, please do pop them in the chat, and I will do the best I can to get you answers. While I wait on that, I'm going to go and look and partially laugh at this. That's terrible. It's not that bad, but it's still bad because of the way they did this business. SAIDRAMA. Oh, and the logo is not up to date either on SAIDRAMA, which I suspect is going to cause some issues with CoinMarketCap. The reason I suspect that is because the same thing happened with Paratoken. Because of the way they did the airdrops, it jacked everything up because CoinMarketCap, the way they associate things, got out of whack, and they couldn't get the price correct. If you looked in Trust Wallet, you will have seen where the old Saitama is spiking like 1,200%. That's coming from that. So I think they're going to have some issues with this. Can't prove it. Don't know 100%. Just saying. Questions or anything, please do leave them in the chat, and I will get you answers if I have them about anything at all. Doesn't have to be the topics in question. While I spike the air conditioning because it's extremely hot. Oh yeah, that's not gonna work. Whoa. Cool beans. Not a problem. If you think of something after the fact, please do leave it in the comments down below once this posts, or feel free to go to cryptotalkradio.net, fill out the contact form at the top. I like hearing from the community. Again, thank you for the support. And if you spread the word, thank you for that. If you followed our coverage, thank you for that. If you're not a subscriber, thank you for that. Regardless, I appreciate you, and it inspires me to keep pushing hard, and I'm going to keep pushing hard. I got more work to do, not less. I got to keep on going as I evolve what it is that I'm doing. Next step, we're on the road to the token and get the token launched for our tribe members. They've been waiting, I think, long enough. It's time for me to start rewarding them. And I think you're going to be, if you're in the tribe listening to this, I think you're going to be pretty intrigued at what you see. because we worked really hard to put this together and envision this. And if I can get the partnership working, I think you're gonna, as I said, I think it's gonna be the coolest thing that any project has ever done. And it's again the bar, not raising the bar, being the new bar. Thank you.